All right, there we go. There we go. We back with another WWE talk. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe, ring that notification bell, all that good stuff, man. Um, a couple, a couple plans kind of had wrenches thrown in them tonight from Saturday night main event. Seth Rollins, Mr. Money in the Bank, he ended up injuring himself in the match. As you could tell, the BFT got hit abruptly by LA Knight right after Seth Rollins ended up, I guess, injuring his knee when he tried to go for a backflip. Obviously, he missed it, and it was like a stomp. He like stomped on the mat, and he ended up tweaking his shit. And he was talking to Paul Heyman and the referee for a while, and you just saw the look on Paul Heyman's face and the look on Seth Rollins' face, and you could just tell it was like, damn, this was about to be a good match. But then it got ruined with this injury, which that's part of what happened in pro wrestling. You can get injured doing stuff, man. But it is what it is, man. What's good? We got Caleb in the building. Hell yeah. Shout out LeBrie. Said, wake your ass up. Low in this bitch. Damn right. Damn right. Got bronze. If I ain't say that in the building. Dorian Carter. He said I got the Soldier Boy shades on. Yeah, I was feeling it tonight. I was in a good mood. I saw AEW All In earlier today. That was entertaining. It was different from what we see in WWE. That was a nice change of pace, if you will. Hangman Adam Page ended up beating John Moxley in a crazy match. Crazy match, all type of spots. Moxley at one point had some spikes in his back, which you knew was gonna happen because it's like this is the thing. He always tries to land on barbed wire or some crazy shit and just draw a whole lot of blood. So that was the highlight of All In. I just liked it more than Saturday Night Main Event. What's up, Hang Ham alone in the building? Said Gunther match was absolute trash. Here's my thing about that. Why did we have Bill Goldberg at 58 years old? Hold on one second. There we go. Why do we have a 58-year-old Bill Goldberg in a match for Saturday Night Main Event for a World Heavyweight Championship? Like, it just shows you don't really view the World Heavyweight Championship worth anything because you had it on Jey Uso before that, which was obviously a toss-up, a layup, a here you go for the fans. He was moving merch. He had the yeet catchphrase. But to have him give it back to Gunther, who's boring, just didn't help. And Gunther, he's really hasn't had a decent feud in a while. You think about it, he's had Pat McAfee, Bill Goldberg, who's damn near 60, Jey Uso, who's got like 5-6 moves. Like, what was the last good one? Randy Orton, maybe? And then they don't even talk about how Imperium just kind of split up. It just kind of happened. They didn't have a storyline reason or anything like that to explain that, because now we know Ludwig Kaiser is El Grande Americano, even though in dark matches he wrestles as himself. Are they doing anything to sell tickets? And that's what's hurting them too. They charging a ridiculous amount for these tickets for a lower than mid quality product. Because I know Evolution had like the lowest ticket sales in years, which there was no build up to it. It was just like, hey, we're gonna, in the last couple weeks of Raw and SmackDown, we're just gonna throw a bunch of random matches together and hope some storylines stick. Like, you got Alexa Bliss tag teaming with Charlotte Flair. Why? Why? That just shows they ain't got no plans for them. They just going with the flow. So AEW was 10 times better than Saturday Night Main Event, even though it was like a 6-hour show. I did like that because I could do other stuff and jump back in, and I got highlights I can watch after I'm done with this live stream for this. So in AEW, they had Edge return to help Christian, and it was a Globe Life Stadium too. I was like, damn, this a big deal. WWE, it's like they felt threatened. Clearly, the fact that they had an NXT PLE Saturday Main Event tonight and then Evolution tomorrow, they felt threatened by AEW's All In, which was probably go down as one of the best PLEs, pay-per-views, whatever, for the year. But yeah, that's really gonna hurt WWE going forward because like you have too many of them and there's no real build. Like shit, they finally put Karrion Kross on TV. Finally, they gave him a match at Night of Champions. Obviously, he lost. Then he jumped Sami Zayn, and then you hear Chance talking about "We want Cross." So that tells you the fans like the dude. Hey, maybe you should push him. Because I mean, Sami Zayn. We've seen Sami Zayn. You see what happens. It's the same thing. Underdog. He got to play the kind of the lovable loser role, and it just gets boring after a while. Always in the middle of every single beef, somehow every single feud, somehow interjecting himself, then subsequently getting his ass beat out of it. So WWE did Worlds Collide with Triple H, and just like AEW did Forbidden Door with New Japan. Yeah. So WWE knows that people will watch regardless. Yeah, they know people will watch, whether it be PLEs and shit like that. As far as ticket sales, they do get desperate. There have been times they got desperate for WrestleMania. I think SummerSlam is having that issue too with the overpriced tickets, where it's like you're charging all of this money for a subpar product. So the only good thing about AEW is the pay-per-view, the TV ratings struggle with 500K viewers. Yeah, they're not gonna win the TV battle, at least not yet. Even though they got Max on their side, they're not gonna win that just yet. But I can see over time it's gonna shift to AEW if WWE keeps up doing what they're doing now. That's what it's gonna end up being like. Let's just chill hop. So the only thing interesting is in WWE is John Cena's retirement tour. His heel run kind of been ass though. Like it's had some good moments, but there's a lot of points in time where it's like, what are y'all doing? Like the way they just wasted R-Truth's return. It was like, what? The fans got him hired back or re-signed, and then they don't even really utilize him. Like make it make sense. Like, yeah, we're gonna have him feud with Aleister Black, which is now gonna transition into Damian Priest and Aleister Black. Like all of that for nothing. Oh no, yeah. You get like 5 commercial breaks in one match, it feels like. And then watching the match in itself is a whole commercial break because they got Prime on the little stand with the bottles. They got Slim Jim on the mat. They got Snickers somewhere on the little marquee barricade. Like everywhere you look, it's a new ad. The table got Slim Jim on it. The ladders, they got Fireball. It's like NASCAR. Triple H is a horrible booker. Yeah, he's a very, what they say, he's a safe booker. That's what they like to say. Because he don't really do nothing that's outlandish. He don't do anything that's crazy. But I'll say this, every now and again, he knows how to get a viral moment. That's the one thing he can do. He'll get a viral moment, but have a terrible follow-up to it. Like it won't help at all what he tries to do. And there'll always be these plot holes and shit in there too. Imagine NXT draws more people than AEW Dynamite. I don't watch a whole lot of NXT, but I do hear a lot of good things about it when people watch it. Which I know it's more Shawn Michaels anyway. Oh, I appreciate the super chat, Sonny. We said WWE's garbage now. How high from Alaska? Shout out to Alaska. Reaching Alaska in this motherfucker. But yeah, at WWE now, the quality of the product is so trash, so watered down. They tried to turn into UFC. It'll take a while for AEW to pull WWE TV shows. Yeah, they got to play the long game if they do it. So all NXT did was took AEW talents and made them look better. Yeah, that's the thing. They're the machine. WWE is still the machine at the end of the day. Regardless of how devoid of storylines they are still the machine. So what are they promoting on the ring mat today? I think the typical Slim Jim, I want to say Snickers. I think I saw a Fireball on there too. The usual shit. The WCW did have advertised on the rings back in the day. Yeah, the difference was this shit feels forced. Like you can't look anywhere from the stage all the way to the ring, from like where they have the Titantron. You look on the Titantron, they have like obviously WWE, whatever show, Raw, SmackDown, and then to the side they got like Slim Jim slapped up there, Fireball, if it's a PLE or whatever, they have some type of advertisement slapped on the side. Then you walk down the ring to the ramp, they might have something on the side there too, next to the fans, and they definitely gonna have it on that big Titantron barricade on the back that faces the TV. These YNs don't learn, bro. Bird, you YN, you don't learn. But yeah, to answer your question, yeah, that's what they was promoting in the ring. So what was in the cup last night? That is classified information. That's what that was in the cup. It was classified information. But yeah, Solo Sikoa, he faced Jimmy Uso for the US title. Jimmy don't really get a push because of legal issues. I mentioned that before. He got a couple more Deweys on his record than his brother does. Jay, he cleaned his shit up after he got in trouble. So that's why he got over and he wasn't injured like Jimmy was. But yeah, I feel like that match was kind of thrown together. I feel like during this, I call it the Bloodline Vortex, you just keep facing the same people. It's Solo, Fatu, Jimmy. They add new Samoans and Polynesians to the mix, and it keeps going and going like a carousel. To the point, it's like, bro, just like after this, start feuding with other people that aren't Bloodline related. Like it gets to a point, it's just annoying. The NXT got their own talent. They do get a lot of AEW people though. It's like always they going back and forth. If they leave in WWE, they go into AEW more times than not. If they get rumors that they leave in AEW, they go into WWE, NXT, or straight to the main roster like Penta or Rey Fenix. The NXT has the best women's division. I keep hearing that. I don't watch a whole lot of NXT like that. And I feel like they don't promote their PLEs a whole lot on the other channels and stuff, which I think that hurts them. I'm like, they'll push Saturday Night Main Event. Obviously, SummerSlam, they've been pushing that for like, feels like 6 months now. They need to push the NXT stuff more during the main show's broadcast. This nigga Bird wildin'. So everywhere you look, it's an ad. I feel like it's not, the times I've seen it at least, it's not as bad with NXT though. So now that Seth Rollins is injured, I was thinking about this. If Seth Rollins is injured and you put your whole show, Monday Night Raw, essentially on his shoulders, because he starts the show taking up the first 20 minutes with the long ass promo that we've heard before, or Braun Breaker, he might talk now, or Bronson Reed. Now what do you do with that? You gave him the Money in the Bank. What do you do now? Like, does that mean that the Money in the Bank gets transferred to somebody else? How is that going to work? And it never turns out well whenever they try to put him as the main guy. So why don't they make Saturday Night Live feel special, just like a regular show? That's how all the PLEs feel. It's like a regular show because it's the same matches that we always see. Why is it that when the Street Profits were the tag team champions, they were not on one PLE? Not now, single one. There was about 3 or 4 of them in that time span, and they went on one of those PLEs, and somehow they lose to the Wyatt Six. Make it make sense. I'm gonna say it, Triple K, he ain't beating the allegations on that one. Saturday Night Main Events more like Velocity but bland. Yeah, I agree. It's just like very half-ass how they throw the matches together. That's the one thing that bothers me. It's like one dude shows up on the show, they get into it backstage or something, and then next thing you know, Adam Pearce and Nick Aldis announce y'all two going at it at Saturday Night Main Event. Like no build up whatsoever. He said there's a rumor about Seth Rollins' betrayal. I think it would be Braun Breaker for sure, since the way you notice he took the mic from Seth on Monday Night Raw. He's like, nigga, this is my time to shine. I'm going to be the face of WWE, which in the future he should be. I 100% agree. He definitely should be. What do I want? I want something different. Yeah, I want that. Feel like they ruined Goldberg in the match. Yeah, like how you gonna have his last match nigga get choked out? Like you can't have him get pinned clean. You couldn't something. Even though they made it look like he was gonna win at one point, but I think that's crazy they had him pass out like that. It's kinda like Jey Uso, they had him pass out so fast from the sleeper hold compared to Gunther. That he hurt his knee, that's not a work. Yeah, exactly. That was real. You could see LA Knight was frustrated too because of the way the match ended. And then he walked up, and that's when the referee kind of held him back, like, "Hey, hold up." But it's probably worse than Goldberg versus Fiend. It's a crime that they even had that as a match. Goldberg versus the Fiend. So it makes him look more dominant doing the pass out finish. Makes Gunther, yes, but it's still like at the same time, it's like, bro, you struggled to beat a 58-year-old. I don't care who it is. It's a 58-year-old, bro. That's because you a YN Blackbird. That's why. But yeah, Gunther's booking makes no sense. He struggled against Pat McAfee. He struggled against Goldberg. How is he supposed to be this big Austrian tank, unstoppable force if he's struggling against people who don't even do this full time? Because when you think about it, they really don't have anybody on Monday Night Raw besides Braun Breaker. I would say Seth, but obviously he's injured now. Jey Uso. It was Rhea Ripley, like a few people that they have on Raw that actually like, I guess, big draws for real. SmackDown has more of the big draws like Drew McIntyre, Cody Rhodes, Randy Orton, John Cena been showing up there more. CM Punk's obviously Raw, but he been showing up on SmackDown too. Seth Rollins and his crew was showing up on SmackDown. They got most of the people. So they need to fix that, especially since that's a Netflix show. So Austin lost his match to The Rock at Mania 19. And imagine they throw him Perk Angle against Gunther. I wouldn't be surprised, man, if they even tried that. I don't think it's ever gonna happen, but I wouldn't be surprised if there was some rumor that ever just popped up like that. But yeah, they need to give him somebody serious. They mentioned in the dark match that Cody Rhodes jumped in. I think Gunther had a match with Jay, and Cody Rhodes came in to save the day. Kind of maybe teasing a future feud with them, which I mean that would be pretty boring to be honest. Like Cody Rhodes, I don't like Cody Rhodes that much. Like he's kind of boring. And you put him against Gunther, who's also boring, it's not gonna be that good. You're gonna hear a lot of "I respect you." Think about Cody, I respect you, blah blah blah. Same thing from Cody with his lisp. He gonna say the same shit. Hey, how the Goldberg match abruptly ended and went straight to commercial. Yeah, after he said that he wanted to thank the fans and stuff, I was like, "Yo, what y'all doing? I get it, y'all want that little clip, but now it's gonna be on YouTube, the full thing." But I think that's a time constraint thing. Because I know that like WWE, they're really strict on time, especially even with the Netflix streams and stuff. Like things when they have a match that's supposed to be say like I don't know 3.5, 5 minutes or whatever. You better finish that shit within that time. Don't go over because they got to factor in ads, ad spots within the match, things like that. So some rumor that Cody's gonna turn heel. I've heard that rumor, but I don't really think it's gonna happen anytime soon. I think Randy would turn heel before that. And that's another one. They wasted Randy Orton's last few years too. He's keep losing all these PLE matches he won tonight, but he keep losing all these PLE matches, these big ones for championships, King of the Ring. And now they got him tagging with Jelly Roll against Logan Paul. Like what are we doing? So you gotta finish that Heads of State movie. It's alright. I thought it was gonna be better, but it was alright. I enjoyed that Superman movie though. I do know that much. But the only time Cody will be interested is if he turns heel and goes full Homelander. I agree. We need a Homelander Rhodes heel turn at some point. It would have been nice had they have done that instead of the Cena heel turn. If Cody Rhodes had gone heel and then they faced each other at WrestleMania and seen how it went from there. Because I mean, even when Cena was heel, he was still getting cheered. He's still getting cheered. This man come out with new merch every single week, but somehow he's a heel. It's just not believable. This man is on a whole media run for Heads of State, smiling and cheesing it up on Saturday Night Live or any of these talk shows. It's like you're supposed to be this straight faced mean heel on Monday or Friday, but the rest of the week you smiling. It ain't believable. It is bad timing. So Randy Orton needs to retire. Nah, he still can put on a good match. They just need to stop wasting his last few good years. Especially whenever he been getting injured a lot more frequently as he got older. Bird, sit down somewhere. What you talking about? YN's over here getting out of hand, man. You understand what the point of having Jelly Roll wrestle at SummerSlam is for? Like, who wants to see that? They use a lot of these celebrities really to just get the casual fans involved, or people who know about WWE but might not necessarily really invest into it. But they do like say Jelly Roll or how they would do with like NASCAR. That's how I got into it. Whenever they did the was it like the celebrity? It was like they'd have a guest general manager every week because they didn't have like an actual general manager at the time, and just be different celebrities, actors, athletes, former WWE Hall of Famers, wrestlers, things like that. And they had Kyle Busch and Joey Logano, and I was a big NASCAR fan, and I saw that, and I was like, "Yo, this shit pretty cool." So that's how I got into WWE. So it's a good way to get casuals involved. That's why they use influencers for PLEs and certain things like having Braun Breaker spear I Show Speed because they know I Show Speed has a huge following. So if he goes viral for this, his followers might tap into WWE. But John Cena always get cheered and his merch will sell. Yeah, he's a lot of people's childhood growing up who are pro wrestling fans. Especially if you think about the Super Cena era where he was unstoppable. He can get RKO'd 5 times and still somehow win the match. And then after that, Roman Reigns gonna be the childhood for other people. So WCW did use celebrities like Dennis Rodman, Karl Malone, yeah, David Arquette, who was also in WWE, even though they put the world title on him, which ruined WCW, made it kind of a joke. Yeah, they've done that before. TNA, they've done that in the past. I mean, hell, think about it. They used Hulk Hogan, and then he kind of ruined it by taking away their unique shape of a ring and went back to the traditional 4-sided ring. I know Blackbird drunk. He can't do his math right now. Well, I am curious what the follow up going to be for Saturday Night Main Event, especially now that Seth Rollins is going to be injured. How are they going to pivot that? Because my guess is they going to have some shit that was definitely half-assed. It's going to be very last minute. It's going to feel very rushed. It's not going to be well thought out at all. For the stable, I'm willing to bet they might jump the gun now and push Braun Breaker since Seth is probably going to be out for a while. I thought he lost weight too, man. I was like, hold up. And I did hear he was like taking bumps and like getting ready for something. So I knew it was coming up. We got Rob the John Cena versus Prime Taker. Yeah, and the time they did actually face each other, they messed it up for the simple fact that Taker was actually in really good shape, but they wanted it to be a real quick squash match. And it was like, why? That was your last chance to do it. So remember when Big Show pushed John Cena to the power? I remember that. Something about John Cena and Pyro. There's no point in John Cena turning heel in the first place. You can't believe they actually believe it would have worked. No, the moment itself was cool. It was like it was giving the fans something different in this 20-year run. But it's the follow-up. There's so many ways they could have did it right. The fact that they just kind of ignored The Rock out of the equation from the storyline, that right there ruined it. The moment John Cena said it was because the fans did this and didn't even acknowledge The Rock initially, ruined it from there. There was nothing they was going to do to make it better. If Cody turns heel, he's got to have his faction like Homelander did had with the 7. Oh, I wonder who would be in it though. Like, would that mean Randy Orton would turn too, join them? Kind of like a reverse of Legacy, where instead of Orton being the leader, it'd be Cody Rhodes. Because it kind of makes you wonder. So we wanted John Cena to turn heel for a decade. Yeah, they waited too late. It would have been better around like 2012. But they didn't want to do it because they was like, damn, we can't fuck up the money. He bring in a lot of money for kids. He missed the Make-A-Wish. It would quote unquote ruin the image, but it really wouldn't. They'd sell more merch and people would still like him. It's not like you got to keep him heel forever. And they really should have had the Nexus win too. That's another thing. Instead of John Cena winning that match. Because it just stunned like 4 or 5 different wrestlers right there. Wade Barrett being one of them too. The John Cena Undertaker face in 07 on Raw, but the match ended in a DQ. I want to say they had a match on Monday Night, not Monday Night Raw, SmackDown, might have been 2011 or something like that. It was like a one-time thing. John Cena was like a special appearance on SmackDown, which he wasn't coming on SmackDown a whole lot like that, or really if ever. Roman heel turn was perfect timing. They need to hurry and bring that man back. Stop playing. Vince didn't want to be heel after he lost to The Rock in 28. I think that's one thing Vince should have definitely did was let John Cena turn heel. Like, if you can do that, you can get away with a Randy Orton. Obviously, who would have been a better heel anyway. You could at least try it with John Cena. And they could have did that thing where they were opposites years ago, where Cena was the heel and Orton was the face. Because, you know, those two are basically connected at the hip. Speaking of heels, man, they have hoed Drew McIntyre so much. He might be the most screwed over wrestler. They always talk about LA Knight getting screwed over. Drew McIntyre gets screwed over worse than probably anybody else. It's the way he's been eliminated in the EC, the Royal Rumble, Ends up in these meaningless feuds with Damian Priest. He had one of the best feuds with CM Punk last year. And in the first 5 minutes of coming back from taking time off, this man gets RKO'd on SmackDown. A shortened 2-hour version of SmackDown. That's if that tells you anything. Except for God act, that's funny as hell. Because they had no plan after that because they wanted Cody to turn heel, but he refused. Yeah, Triple H didn't want to do it either. Kind of the Vince with Cena thing. To Vince let Austin to be the heel because The Rock was filming Scorpion King at the time. Because The Rock was going Hollywood. But I feel like the problem now is a lot of the heels are more over than the faces, especially on Monday Night Raw. Like Seth Rollins is supposed to be a heel, but they singing his music. Make it make sense. They sing, the whole crowd is singing his music, but he's supposed to be a heel. The crowd barking and shit when Braun Breaker's supposed to be a heel. They boo him a little bit too. Bronson Reed, he get booed, but the heels are more over than the faces. A lot of these people that show up, they don't even get no reaction. The John Cena versus Undertaker also faced off in 2003, but that was when he used to come to the ring on that motorcycle, the American Badass version of the Undertaker. I think that's the first Undertaker I saw when I was a kid. And then you saw like the older Dead Man Undertaker. And yeah, hit that like button, all right? Because I forget to say it. Hit that like button, smash that like button, RKO that like button, all that good stuff, man. Smash that like button. No hangover, Blackbird. No hangover. So when Cody was in AEW, the fans wanted him to be heel because Cody was in every angle. Somebody turns on him and he refused that. He left because he was getting booed too. As a face, he was getting booed. He ain't like that. That's one thing about Cody Rhodes. He don't like to get booed. Even though he started his career out getting booed, which is ironic. And he's a much better heel than the face to me. Like sometimes it just don't even feel like he's really a face sometimes. What they say, he's a politician. He always wearing suits and shit. Yeah, he seemed like a politician. This nigga Bird trolling, boy. Yeah, he definitely off that gin tonight. I don't know what they doing with CM Punk too. Actually, this would be the best time for real if you think about it. To push. Well, I get actually not really because he lost to John Cena. I'm gonna say CM Punk, he could take that spot where Seth Rollins would have been on Raw, but also he's damn near 50. What is he, 47, 48, I think. So yeah, CM Punk. They really haven't done much with him besides the McIntyre feud, and he coming up short in his pursuits of another championship. Yeah, I remember that. It was when he had the dark hair. Before he went to that bleach blonde hair. So what happened to Ted DiBiase Sr. and Jr.? Both of them got involved in that. I think the lawsuit involved Brett Favre in Mississippi. They was part of that. So they are facing time for that. So that's what happened to Senior and Junior because they were both roped into that. And that case still going on now. I think DiBiase, what they say, he was facing what? I think it was 3 to 5 years or some shit in prison. Yeah, I was thinking that same thing a couple weeks ago too. Before I saw the news about it and it broke. I was like, I ain't seen Ted DiBiase Jr. in anything in any wrestling, TNA, AEW, nothing. I see Cody Rhodes still here. Whether it was AEW, and it's like, damn, we see why. Went through a flaming table and did a whole racism promo. I remember that promo. Apparently, him and Xavier Woods went to school together when they were young because they're both from Atlanta. I think they both wrestled together. And now you see Cody Rhodes, he got the black wife, which is ironic considering his dad was racist. I can imagine how that conversation would have went when Cody introduced her to his dad and what his dad had to say. So unfortunately, things won't get better in WWE until Triple K is fired and some other billionaires who actually care for wrestling and as fans about a company from TKO. Yeah, they look at it just one big corporate machine, which I mean it's been for a long time, but they took the soul out of it. They took the heart out of it, the effort, the quality, and all that shit. They just ripped all of that out and said, "Here you go. We just selling pieces off like a pizza." Cody did the superhero role in WWE. Yeah, he the new face of the company, even though Roman Reigns is the one that really the biggest draw. So that's why they got he all American out and all this shit looking like a superhero. His nickname American Nightmare, yeah, and he got that dumbass neck tattoo too. And his dad was the American Dream, who was the ultimate babyface. Which is crazy when you think about it. Somebody called himself the American Nightmare, yet he's a face. If you don't you think if you're the American Nightmare, you should be a heel. Be the complete opposite of what your dad was. To the Dead Man Undertaker was scary when he used to do the eye roll gimmick. You was scared the Undertaker when they back then. You ain't gonna lie. Yeah, he was different. They had this mystique behind him and Kane. Especially when Kane first came out with the mask, bro. It was just they had this supernatural feel to him. You had the creepy pale white dude and Paul Bearer with the urn. You had these different matches where they're fucking putting people on crucifixes and shit like that. Like it's over the top, buried alive matches. It just made it feel like this dude was different. And the fact you had the lights come off, he pops up right behind you, or he just breaks through the ring. And that was way more effective back then. Now they don't really have that. They don't have anyone that's this scary kind of being like that. Like I guess they kind of try with Aleister Black, but he just kicked people. They try that with who was someone? I guess the Wyatt Six, but it's just weird. It's just weird. The Fiend was probably the last one where that shit really worked. Yeah, I used to think that too. It's like they're both really tall too. On top of that, so you could really think, hey, they might have been related, but nah, they weren't. So yeah, before I get on up out of here, I want to know what do y'all think they're gonna do moving forward with the I guess the main storylines from I guess Raw and SmackDown, whether it be I guess John Cena's because it was Seth Rollins at one point. That's what it was gonna be with Seth Rollins, John Cena, and then the Money in the Bank cash in could have been at SummerSlam, which a lot of people assumed. Now what you do? What you do going forward? And with Monday Night Raw, I guess that ties in with Seth as well. What do you do with Gunther after Goldberg? What or are you just gonna leave him off SummerSlam because they've done that? They just leave him off shit for no reason. Was the mayor? He used to be the mayor of Knoxville. Here, like yeah, he came up through the wrestling school up here. I think him, Big Show. I think Cowboy Bob Orton. I think Randy might have came up through here too for a little bit through the wrestling school. I think it's like you pay $3,000 and 5 days a week for I think 5 weeks or something. No, for 2 months, 5 days a week. You take wrestling classes, and by then you can get certified and shit, and actually go to different. What am I trying to say? I guess wrestling companies, whatever you want to call it. and they'll also help, I guess, get you applied to different places to get booked. AEW All In was better than NXT and Saturday Night Main Event today. So much for the pointless and petty counter programming from TKO to WWE. I mean, a lot of people said that shit months ago that All In was gonna be better, which the fact they had to put Goldberg in the main event at 58 showed how desperate and I guess out of touch they were. They really tried to stroke the nostalgia strings on that, but what the hell? What you gonna get out of that? You knew he wasn't gonna win in his last match, and he's 58. Why are we watching a 58 in the main event? Salute Blackbird in the building. But yeah, like what are they doing? And the funny thing is, I watch a little bit of AEW. I usually dabble. I was really keeping up with like the Hurt Business with MJF joining, and I was like, that's kind of interesting. That's cool. I like seeing some of Moxley's over the top matches because it's just different. But it is a spot fest at times, and it gets a little excessive. But it's just something different. I just remember watching. I was like, I don't really know anything about these storylines for real, but I'm just watching it and it's entertaining. For whatever reason, it's just something different. It's like it's refreshing. I hate the WWE stages now. It looks so bland. It looks like them live show stages they used to have when they was like really doing live shows and stuff all the time. It was just like the little short Titatron with like the entrance on both sides and lights and just like your name will pop up whenever your music play. That's what it looks like now. And they really did that to get more seating in there so they can get people behind there at some arenas. But I miss when they had character at each stage. It felt like the PLE or the pay-per-view. Hey, hell yeah. I know you put that in the Discord, man, about the Nicki Minaj one. I don't think that's gonna happen, bro. That legal shit, I don't think that's gonna happen. So for SmackDown, it's still Cena versus Cody too, unfortunately. And for Raw, it should now be Gunther versus Punk, which that'd still be boring. It really would. Gunther would get smoked on the mic too. That's the worst part. So if Rollins' injury isn't serious, he should return at SummerSlam. You keep Roman away until Seth returns. I do agree they should keep him away, but I want to see Roman now. But I get it. It's a bigger pop at SummerSlam that he arrives. Especially you could tell it's showing up sooner and sooner because Paul Heyman brought him up. He's getting brought up in promos and stuff a little bit more now, hinting that he's about to make his return at some point. I think I watched, what was that, Thursday? I think it was Thursday. AEW Dynamite was on. I remember I watched a little bit of it, and there was some segment they had backstage that was kind of cringe. That kind of lost me, and I had to change that shit. But other than that, the matches I saw was good. All in, though, I did enjoy. Cody definitely ain't my favorite. That's funny. Even Seth Rollins' faction is born out. It's because they ain't got no chemistry. There's no character development with Braun Breaker or Bronson Reed. That's why. Like Seth, he just says the same shit every week. He the future, even though he's pushing 40, but he the future, so he say. He's the visionary. All this other shit. We've heard this before, Seth. We don't care. Braun he had better character development before joining this faction. He got reduced to a dog. Bronson Reed, don't ever give him a microphone ever again. He another big ass dog. So what is there to invest in from a storyline perspective? Just because they keep getting jumped by LA Knight, like what's that supposed to do? I feel like Seth should have been Money in the Bank. He already did that, or shouldn't have. I guess what you're saying. It should have been LA Knight for real. Like it was a no-brainer. LA Knight should have won. Hell, I would have accepted Solo Sikoa winning that shit. But hey, they gave it to Seth. He's never been the guy, but they gave it to Seth. The man said Big B off the lane. Don't tell me you out here drinking that promethazine, man. But this was worse than when Seth Rollins was in the Authority. Yeah, because he really didn't even need Paul Heyman. Like, Paul Heyman seems out of place with Seth Rollins' faction when you really think about it. Like, Seth can talk for himself. I guess he's there for Braun Breaker. And it's obviously going to be, when Braun turns on him, it's going to be Paul Heyman who takes over as, his manager, the next big thing. I feel like it's going to be too predictable, though. He was overstimulated. That's a crazy way to say it, but anyway, because he had to use so many screens trying to keep up with all the events that WWE's terrible right now. They were desperate trying to counter program AEW. They were desperate as hell, especially with the Evolution shit. Like some Sunday PLE that was half-assed and thrown together last minute is gonna make us forget how good All In was. Nice try, Triple H. Nice try. Wonder what they'll do with the Money in the Bank now. Yeah, I don't know either. I'm not. Your guess is as good as mine, man. Unless, here's what they might do. Actually, they might have some shit where they have a segment where Adam Pearce, Nick Aldis, they talk about it, and they say there's like a tournament for the new Money in the Bank winner or another ladder match or some shit. I don't know. I could see them doing something like that. Seth is, but that's what I think they're gonna do. They might do like a tournament because they love doing tournaments as a cheap way to get a lot of other talents that usually don't be on SmackDown or Raw some screen time. And Seth is one of Triple H's. So is Ciampa and Gargano. LA Knight is not. That's why he never gets pushed or pushed the way he should. I know Big B capping. You don't even like Tony Khan either because he's a pushover to his talent. Look at this CM Punk. Yeah, CM Punk was talking greasy to that nigga in that press conference. And then you see Tony Khan's eyes, man. That nigga should be like this, bro. His shit be big as hell like this. I'm like, I know what you was doing in the back earlier. I don't even have to guess. We already know what it was with you. You were doing that, huh? You was out there doing that, Tony Khan. That or some Adderall. He's probably doing Adderall and playing with his nose. But no, his eyes is huge, man. I still think the worst was I saw this on TikTok earlier today. It was Conor McGregor. I forgot where he was, but this man was off that shit. This man did the whole head, shoulders, knees, and toes. And it's like at a, I don't know, it's kind of like one of them celebrity red carpets or something. They were like taking pictures. They was up on a stage, and this man holding his chest, he breathing. You could tell he breathing, trying to slow down that heart rate. This man said head, shoulders, knees, and toes, bro. I was like, damn. How much of that shit did you do, boy? That man said, I probably can't even feel my face. So I remember Brock Lesnar broke one of their arms. So I remember J&J Security. You have said, I told you to watch all in. I don't even remember this. I do not remember anyone saying that. I know somebody had mentioned maybe it was gonna be good, but that was it. The J&J some little niggas for real. But yeah, they might have took the crown for PLE of the year. It was definitely All In was definitely better than WrestleMania. WrestleMania was terrible. I know. I can only imagine what they start the show with. If they've been relying on Seth Rollins every week opening the show, taking 15 minutes to finally say welcome to Monday Night Raw. Oh, it's gonna be bad. It's gonna be bad. And he would cancel that Netflix subscription. NXT by default, maybe the only WWE brand to watch, and that's only for the women because the men's division is horrible. I know they got a lot of heat over there, got a lot of talent on NXT. Your problem with AEW is that they use too much blood in these hardcore matches with John Moxley. That's one thing I will say. I enjoy that is different. But his matches, I guess specifically because I see a lot of his, or I might go out of my way to watch a lot of them, are so unnecessarily over the top at times. Like there are certain spots in the match because I was watching one of my friends I think it was last week or 2 weeks ago. Because I was just showing them like the difference between WWE and AEW, like the matches and breaking shit down as the psychology behind it. And with AEW, this match went on honestly, it went on way too long, bro. There's way too many close counts. The match should have ended 12 minutes earlier. But there's these spots in his matches where it's like the thumbtack spots, or he takes the spikes to the back. It's like, what does this enhance with the story or the match? Like, what does this play a role? Just because you went through a fucking table or something like that, what does this enhance? That's something. Hold on one second. Said the match with John Moxley versus Edge was landed on a cricket bat with spikes was unnecessary. So, yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Like, what was the point in this? What good does this do? It was a viral moment. It was crazy. It was actually really disgusting to see. Like the spikes in his skin was stuck to it. What was the point in that? Like we're fighting Steve Austin in the next WrestleMania, willing to risk it all for his brothers on Discord. Oh shit, that's funny. Brock Lesnar breaking the Undertaker streak was heartbreaking to watch. I agree. I don't think that should have ever happened. Mox put on a banger. Yeah, he did. He definitely did. So there's a match with Hangman Adam Page versus Swerve Strickland and Hangman Page drank Swerve Strickland blood. See, they doing shit like that. I think there was one they had to. What was it like? They were gonna stab somebody, or it was some storyline where it was involved like they were gonna try to off somebody. It's like that's too far. Cause it's like now you're not even really playing around with the storyline for it. It's just lazy. It's like why you don't have to go that far. Cause it's like we know y'all ain't really finna do that. It's just not believable. All right, man. I'm finna slide up out of here the next couple minutes. But yeah, just comment what you thought of All In AEW and so far WWE with Saturday Night Main Event, which I guess most of us agree that shit was trash. So there's one match when Kenny Omega was stabbed in the head with a screwdriver against Mox. I remember that. I thought that was kind of unnecessary too. I think that's the same one where they went through that like that barbed wire spot near the crowd near the stage. That is like there was no point in doing it because it wasn't like he won off of that shit. It was like, congrats, you got stuck in some fucking barbed wire. Mars Evolution event finna be trash as fuck too. I probably won't even watch it. We'll see. Battle Royale and Bianca being involved now. The only interesting aspects of the show, Rhea Ripley's trash and should not win the title for real. It's messed up how they hold Bianca Belair. She the one who got pinned clean at WrestleMania. And she the one who got essentially moved out of the way. She won this Elimination Chamber just to take a clean pin to Io Sky, who can't even speak English for shit. Just so we can get the same match we got before WrestleMania with Rhea Ripley and Io Sky. Make it make sense. Yeah, we're gonna end it on that. He said Daniel Bryan getting choked with a plastic bag is still the worst. You might be onto something with that. But yeah, make sure you like, comment, subscribe, ring that bell, smash that like button, all that good stuff, man. Y'all have a good night. We are